In this e-learning, we will be talking about backup files, specifically the go back point files. We're going to review where the files are, which files we should preserve in the system, which files we can delete, and we're going to also give you some tips how to back up the files before you delete the files from your computer. And finally, we're going to show you how to delete the files. Let's open an instance of a different computer. First, I'm going to open the My Computer tool. And a very nice feature we have on the My Computer is this button folder. It will open here on the left side the different drives you have. And once we select, we're going to first show you where the files are. WISE option by default is standard. You might have a different location, but the default location is under Program Files. And every time you click on the folder, here on the right side, you see the content for that folder. And I'm going to select WISE option. So this is the location where the files are, into WISE option. Now, which files we should preserve? Primarily, we should preserve all the files you have in the folder, independent files. And it would be a good idea for you also to keep the MSDE folder, although this folder contains file primarily for installing SQL Server on your computer. It is a good idea to have it there in case for the time you want to move WISE option to a different server. But if you want to delete this, you could back up the file on an independent CD and have it in your archive on those CDs. But we also offer the chance for you to download that file from our website. This is the folder you should also maintain here, the database folder. Actually, this is the place where the database file and the log file are located in your computer, and we should preserve all those. The backup folder should also be preserved, but in this case, we can delete the files that are in this backup. Our suggestion here is for you to maintain the files before you delete the files. So these are the files you can delete. All the files present in the backup folder can be deleted from your computer. Now, what we're going to suggest is to you, let's come here first I'm going to sort this by name, and you're going to have all your auto backup files. You also will find all the go back point files with the name for the user who created the file, year, month, date, time, hour, minute, second. And you're going to find the horse DB. We explore more about this file in a different e-learning, the backup for WISE option. And pretty much we can delete all these files because as soon as the files are no longer in the system and you keep using WISE option, the auto backup will be replaced and the go back point will be then created for new ones that whenever you trigger the function to create a go back point file. So what I'm going to do here is, since my target here is to free a little bit of the memory, I need to clean up the memory with a bunch of the files because I'm burning a CD for WISE option and the whole content is exceeding the maximum files located in the CDs allowed. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to a temporary folder. Basically, you could create a new folder, and I'm going to say here old go back point for WISE option. So this is a new folder I'm creating. So again, to create this new folder, you simply go to the folder, use the right-click function, you select the new, and you choose the option to create a new folder. This is how you create the folder. Once you have the folder, you open that folder. Here on the left side, by using the folder button, you will see the all structure, the all tree for your drive. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click on the backup. I'm going to click on the first one. I'm going to press the Shift key on my keyboard, and I will use the left button on my mouse to select all the files. Now, what I can do, I can put my mouse upon this selection and use the right click of my mouse. The difference, I'm going to show you the difference between using the left click and the right click. This time I'm going to use the right click. I'm going to use the right click, drag this, and drop into that new folder I have just created. The difference is if I had used my left click instead of the right click, the default operation Windows take from that instruction is to move the files from the backup into the new folder you have just created. So if I use my left click on the mouse, you will not see this menu with those options. The Windows will simply move the files, will extract them from here and place the files over here. Whereas if you use the right click button, you have the chance to do either one of these options. So what I'm going to select in this case is to copy here. So now the program is not moving from one place to the other. It is actually copying the files to that new location. Well, I'm showing you this for you to learn how to manipulate files in the system. But for this example, maybe could be the case for us to move instead of copying. I'm kind of paranoid about backups, so I never move or delete. I usually like to do the copy, and later I get back to the old folder and delete after making sure that my copy to the sample folder, the temporary folder, was performed successfully. So this is what I'm doing here. I'm going to pause this record just to save you some time. Okay, the number of seconds left did not magically change to 15 seconds. It's just because I paused the record to save you some time in the lesson. But it is finalizing the copy. And if I look at this folder, I will see this content. And if I look on this folder here, I will see the exactly same content. So now, since I'm good about that, and I will then delete these files because I'm good. I have all the files over there. I'm going to select all the files, and I'm going to say you could do two things. You could push the delete option. If you right click, you could delete. If I do this through this option here, you will be actually not deleting totally the file from your computer, but actually will be sending the file, all those files here to the recycle bin. But since I'm okay with this, and I know that I do have a copy of those files, I will then mark all the files, and instead of using this option here, I will do different. I will push the Shift key on my keyboard plus the delete. Now if I do this one, it gives me a warning that I cannot recover those files by no means. So again, as I'm a little paranoid about this, I'm just showing you the option. I will not do that. Of course that I will do this delete here, which will send those files to the recycle bin. That gives me the chance one more time, in case something goes wrong, to retrieve those files back to my folder. Okay, now when I look to Wise Option folder and I take a look at the backup folder, it is empty. However, I do have a copy of those files over here, and I can at any time restore a backup from one of those. The whole idea here is to clean some memory here in the Wise Option folder, so the entire folder will fit in your either CD or DVD when you are having backups for your files. Now, of course, that you should not leave this folder here. The idea to transfer those files to a different location is just to separate the place where you have the files in. So now you can burn a CD only with these files. So in other words, you should burn a CD with this, keep in your archive, and you will then have Wise Option folder a little bit lighter and able again to fit in one of your CDs. So today we reviewed where the files for Wise Option backups are. We also took a look at the files we should preserve in the system, as well as the files we can delete. We showed you how to back up the files prior to delete any file in your system. and how to delete the files in WiseOption.